Fox Sports.
We are La Force. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, from downtown St. Louis in Busch Stadium, the Cardinals looking for a sweep. It's game number 3, the Cleveland Indians and the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Matt Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. It's been a fun series for the Cardinals. Good pitching, good defense. And oh, by the way, Matt Carpenter is red hot.
Red hot. He could have beaten the Cleveland Indians all by himself, but his numbers are great. 8 for 9, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 6 runs, 16 total bases. That's more than the entire Cleveland team in the first 2 games.
Matter of fact, Cleveland with a total of 10 total bases, and Matt Carpenter was 16. He scored 5 runs last night and went 5 for 5. He has been on a roll. Take a look at this since mid-May, and everything is on the rise. Right now, the average at 259, back in mid-May, all the way back at 140. So he's been one of the hottest hitters in the Cardinal lineup and in Major League Baseball. Last time out, he struck out 13, took a no-hitter into the 7th. How about tonight? What's coming up with Jack Flaherty? The guys in the studio break that down when we come back. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And try the new $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. It's game number 3. The Cardinals looking for a sweep. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Cleveland Indians. Interleague play, baseball coming up. The 0-2 pitch, a strikeout and a called third strike. Out to left center. Ozuna makes it 2-0 St. Louis. In the air. At the wall. Gone! 3-run bomb off a Kluber. Carpenter with a drive. At the wall. He's done it. 5 for 5. Have won now 4 straight as we welcome you inside Busch Stadium. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cleveland Indians in game 3. The Cardinals with a record of 42-36. They're 4 out in the Central behind Milwaukee, and Chicago is 2.5 games back of Milwaukee. Who would have thought this 4 games ago? The Cardinals would have won 4 straight, knocked out Corey Kluber, his shortest outing as a major leaguer, and have a chance at a sweep.
Yeah, really nice surprise, especially after the way the first 2 games went in Milwaukee. And remember, these are not cellar dwellers. These are teams that are leading their division. So Mike Matheny's got his troops going in the right direction. But you know what? There's a lot of games left. You got to keep on pushing.
And the Cardinals turn to young Jack Flaherty, and now through this rotation, it's a full turn, and the pitching, in particular, the starters, has been very good. And you love it, Danny, because, you know, it started where they've just tried to feed off of everybody else. They'll try to better what happened last night. Then tomorrow, or on Friday, Michaelis is going to try to better Flaherty, and you just have that friendly competition. But the starting pitching has done a great job, and it started with Flaherty with his near no-hitter, Michaelis. They've all been pitching well. The Cardinals starters in our Kia Drive to Success last time through the rotation adds up to 32 1/3 and an ERA of 1.95. Shaky start for Martinez last night, then he settled in. Opponents only hitting 144 against him, so the starting pitching really setting the tone for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight they'll turn to Jack Flaherty. It's a couple of young starters tonight, Jack Flaherty and Shane Bieber, and two guys that have been outstanding here to begin their major league careers.
Yeah, two California boys, both of them born in 1995, and their rise to the big leagues was very quick. Flaherty, of course, was selected in the first round, 34th overall of the 2014 first-year player draft. See his numbers, and he's just getting better and better and better.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal, the one pitch you think about so much with Flaherty, it's a good fastball, but the slider, it is a plus pitch for him.
It is, and that's the pitch I always would look to. But yet that last start, I saw the best curveball and changeup that he's possessed too, where he always has that good slider working. But if he's ahead in the count, then those secondary pitches really do exploit the hitter.
Terry Francona, his lineup, it's loaded with stars and a lot of pop, but you wouldn't know it, at least for the first two games of this series. Lindor, a switch hitter. Bradley, then Ramirez, also a switch hitter. Edward Encarnacion, Chisenhall, Kipnis, Perez, Naquin, and the pitcher, batting ninth, Shane Bieber. The other aspect I think that maybe gets overlooked in the first couple of games, it's starting pitching, it's timely hitting. It's all cliche, but man, is it also true. But defensively, the Cardinals have played two clean games. They have not made an error in this series.
Well, that's what you got to hope. All aspects of the game have to be clicking at the same time. And you're right. Starting pitching will set the tone. And you play that good, solid defense behind it. You know, you're going to help out your pitcher. And, of course, that timely hitting is so important.
Francisco Lindor. The Indians very dangerous in first innings of their games. They've scored 59 first inning runs, with Lindor setting the table, and that's second in all of baseball behind Colorado. This guy's a good player. 19 home runs as their leadoff man comes in overall batting .292. The first pitch by Flaherty is grounded to Martinez, to Flaherty for the out. Nice play.
Boy, really nice right there, as Jose Martinez trying to learn the position of first base, and it is getting better. He puts in a lot of time with Oquendo, and boy, it makes a difference when you make those plays.
The Cardinals with 63 errors overall. That's the most in baseball. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Ozuna, Pham, and Fowler. Then Carpenter, Garcia, Wong, and Martinez on the infield. Molina behind the plate. But here recently, they are playing clean baseball, and you know that those two are very appreciative of that. Ali Marmol and Jose Oquendo. There's a strike to Michael Bradley. The Indians have gone 3 games in a row without an extra base hit, and in those 3 games hitting just 161.
10 hits total, right?
That's it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. The ground ball to Martinez. He'll take it himself. 2 quick outs for Flaherty.
Hot, muggy night. It's not, it works to your advantage, and there you see the good breaking ball. Work to your advantage if you can, you know, have some quick outs, save a little strength, get deeper into a ball game. That's another aspect of what the starters have done this last time through. They've gone a little deeper into every game.
Jose Ramirez saw his 32-game on-base streak end last night. Hitless in 4 plate appearances. A switch hitter with 23 home runs. He's second in the AL in home runs with 23. JD Martinez of Boston with 24. And the 1-0 pitch is a strike. It's Larry Vanover, the crew chief, calling the balls and strikes. David Rackley at first, Hunter Wendelstedt at second, Chris Guccione down at third.
So he's still using this curveball. He got the second out on a knuckle curveball. There was a curveball again there. You like to see that, you know, They probably heard about the slider, but if you don't show it to them, you can save it a little later. There's a slider.
Came in only throwing 10% curveballs on the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And like I said, that last time it was a very effective pitch, so you'll probably see a few more of them today.
And a swing and a miss. An 8-pitch inning for Jack Flaherty. Strikeout of Ramirez. Carpenter, one of the hottest hitters on the planet, leads it off when we come back. What a night it was. Game 2 for Matt Carpenter. 5 hits, career best 5 runs, 19th player ever to 5 hits, including 2 homers, 5 runs in a game. First Cardinal to do that, and he's moving up the charts in terms of leadoff homers. Matt Carpenter leads it off, followed by Tommy Pham and Jose Martinez. Marcelo Zuna, great month of June. Yadier Molina, Greg Garcia, Dexter Fowler, Colton Wong, and the pitcher batting ninth, Jack Flaherty, to face Shane Bieber. Indians have won each of the 23-year-olds 3 major league starts. And last time out, 7 scoreless innings against the Tigers. Hyundai pitch arsenal on this right-hander.
A lot of flat fastballs, and you can see primarily sliders, but mix in those curveballs and changeups. Who's noticed in the minor leagues as having the best control. And that is carried forth in the big leagues.
Here's the 0-1. In the minor leagues, he had 274 innings, 255 strikeouts, and only 18 walks. That was it. A shift on the right side of the infield, and the 1-1. The inside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
He's 23 years of age. Like I said, both these starters were born in 1995 from California.
And the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss, and a strikeout of Matt Carpenter. The Indians defensively with Bradley, Naquin, Chisenhall in the outfield. Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, Encarnacion on the infield. Roberto Perez, he's thrown 3 of 18 base stealers out this year. He gets the start behind the plate. There's Tommy Pham. He's 0 for his last 20 with 9 strikeouts. He'd love to change that here.
Streaks follow streaks, so get off this bad one and start a good one.
Cardinals, the last 4 games, they've outscored The 2 games with Milwaukee, the 2 at the Indians, 26-6 as the offense has really come alive. And the 0-2.
Offense has come alive. You've always been hitting home runs, but getting a few extra base hits, and we're walking a little bit more. Those count too.
And Pham hits it out of play. Very warm and really a muggy night here at the ballpark. Big crowd. Off day tomorrow, and then the Atlanta Braves will be in town on Friday night. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Pham. They had a position perfectly, and the catch is made by Naquin for out number 2. It's another home run for Jose Martinez. This knocked out Corey Kluber, a 3-run homer. He almost fell over. Had a 3-run homer against Milwaukee on Sunday. That was career homer number 26. And he passed his dad, who had a total of 25 in the big leagues.
Now I think his dad is smiling about that.
You bet. 9 pitches, 8 strikes. There are right now 4 first basemen in all of baseball with 50 or more RBI, and 2 are in the house tonight. Edwin Encarnacion 53, Martinez now with 50. Old Dominion bringing his best and bringing runs in. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Puts it in the air to right field. Chisenhall near the line, and he'll make the catch. So 1-2-3 for Shane Bieber. No relation to Justin. I'm sure he's never heard that. No score. Here's a look at Matt Carpenter. Big night last night. We check in with Jim. Last night, a historic night for Matt Carpenter, 18th player in all of the history of baseball. First Cardinal, 5 runs scored, 5 hits, 2 homers in the same game. What a night it was, Jim Hayes.
Yeah, and Matt Carpenter may have been hoping for something more. When Matt Carpenter came up for his final at bat, wound up with a home run. He had been a triple shy of the cycle, and that's kind of what he was gunning for, the cycle. Carpenter told me it's about the only time in your life you wish the ball stayed in the park. Honestly, though, you're never mad about a home run, and Carpenter has been on an absolute binge of late, which pulled him out of an awful slump to start the season. He was hitting 140 back on May 15th. Carpenter told me, I wasn't going to let that slow start define me. I knew over the course of 162 games, I'd be happy with what I could put together. I'm starting to do that. But Dan, it's pretty remarkable, the turnaround from Matt Carpenter.
And the 2-0 pitch is hit out to deep left field. Edwin Encarnacion, Carpenter's counterpart in terms of power in the lineup for the Indians. Sends one into the seats. Souvenir back into the playing surface, and it's 1-0 Cleveland on a long home run, number 19 for Encarnacion.
And number 19, and of course we saw when he came to the big leagues with Cincinnati, he kind of went to Toronto, exchanged for Scott Rowland, and he's still going strong. 54th RBI, and there was no doubt about it. That's the one thing about Flaherty, is it's the 8th home run he's allowed. A lot of them, just about all of them, have been solo shots.
402 feet distance of the home run that ends a string of 78 straight plate appearances without an extra base hit for the Indians. Encarnacion, number 19. He was with the Reds from 2005 to 09, and he averaged with Cincinnati 14 home runs. But as you mentioned, he goes to Toronto from 09 to 16 and realized his potential. The numbers gaudy. He averaged 42 home runs and 102 RBI. That was over a long stretch of baseball with the Toronto Blue Jays. Last season, here's a guy that put up big numbers, and it's carried over again here to 2018.
That was the 13th home run he's hit against Cardinal pitching, and he's a 300 hitter against St. Louis.
There's Lonnie Chisenhall. He was 2 for 4 last night at a 2-out RBI single in the top of the first, and his 4th multi-hit game, his 21st start of the year tonight. And he hits that out to deep right field. Fowler back at the wall, and it's gone just over the wall. Back-to-back home runs, and it's 2-0 Cleveland.
First home run of the year for Chisenhall, but he's been on the disabled list, missed a couple months with a calf injury, and he's been swinging a hot bat since coming off the DL in early June. Ball down and in. See Yachty's glove reach back from the outside to the inside part, right into the wheelhouse, just snuck over the wall. Disappeared right over the wall and in front of the seats and the standing room only.
Now Jason Kipnis hitting .214. It's the 5th time this year the Indians have gone back-to-back with home runs. Encarnacion and Chisenhall here in the top of the 2nd. Nobody out. 2-0 Cleveland.
We saw Cleveland take a 2-0 lead last night. It didn't last long. Hopefully that'll be the case again here today.
Outfield deep, straight away. First home run for Chisenhall, his last 48 games going back to a season ago. And the 2-1 pitch. 3-1. I'm sure the idea is if you see spin, lay off the slider against Jack Flaherty. It's got to be the idea.
A lot of these balls are the curve balls. There's a slider there. And I think, you know, the first time through the order, they're trying to go fastball, curveball, and then, you know, he has thrown some sliders, but we'll break those out later on.
And the 3-2 pitch pulled foul into the Cardinals dugout. Roberto Perez at the on deck circle. outside corner, and he struck him out. Second strikeout for Flaherty. He had 13 the last time out and was dominant. Had a no-hitter with 1 out in the 7th inning until Jesus Aguilar went down with just a one-arm swing, put it over the wall and left, and eventually the Brewers had a walk-off win against St. Louis, but he was terrific. Roberto Perez. It's fouled back. The GMC leaderboard. Rookies with multiple 13 strikeout games or more, and it's a who's who on that list. Kerry Wood, Hideo Nobo, Dr. K, Dwight Gooden, Jose Fernandez on that list, and Jack Flaherty.
You know, Dan, the interesting thing about those other pitchers all did it in their careers. Flaherty's done it in the same year in the span of what, 10 starts. And if you go back to this year in the minor leagues, he had a 13 strikeout game too. Rookie pitchers.
And time granted late. We've seen teams try to do that against Flaherty, and he's none too pleased. And the 1-2 pitch now to Perez. Ooh, you can see the home plate umpire Larry Vanover jumped up about an inch or two. He wanted to ring him up.
Looked like a pretty good pitch. I don't know what was wrong with it.
And the 2-2, that one is back-to-back strikeouts. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. And the 8th place hitter digs in, Tyler Naquin, center fielder tonight for Cleveland. They head to Kansas City and then Oakland. And the Cardinals will welcome the Atlanta Braves on Friday night. So 2 outs and nobody on, and a pitch down and in. And it drops in for his strike. And a base hit past Colton Wong into shallow right field. Fought it off. And a 2-out hit for Naquin.
You can see why the Cleveland Indians probably beat up pretty good on right-handed pitching with all the left-handed bats they have.
Eight pitches in the first inning for Flaherty, 24 this inning. And that's hit out of play. This is Shane Bieber. Well, Shane was born after Justin Bieber. Justin did not become a pop star until Shane was in middle school. And eventually he said he had to start answering questions about his last name. He said, throw it at me, because I've heard them all.
Yeah.
The 0-2 pitch fouled back. This is his first career at bat in the big leagues.
Making his 4th major league start.
The short lead at first by Naquin, and an 0-2 pitch. And a strikeout. 3 in the inning, 4 total coming up. Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, Greg Garcia, Couple of home runs hit by the Indians, and it's 2-0 Cleveland. Television, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in and stream the Cardinals. Statue of Ozzie Smith. Harry Weber, the noted sculptor, put those together, and they are outstanding just outside the team store here at Busch Stadium. Let's turn to Al Raboski's Toyota, key to the game.
Well, you've already won the series, but you haven't finished the job. You got to do that by sweeping them, and it's not going to be easy. Kind of an interesting stat for Cleveland. Their starters are 16-2 with a 2.29 ERA, and across 26 starts in the last game of a series, and they've won each of the last 8. So they aren't going to lie down for you, and it'll be a good test for the Cardinals to see where their offense is tonight. Finish the job, Danny.
Finish the job, looking for their 5th straight win. Cardinals have done that twice. 5 in a row. They did that in mid-April and in early May. Marcell Ozuna at his 3rd straight multi-hit game last night. What a June he has had.
Really, every month he's gotten a little better, but by far his best month is June.
And a ground ball that's hit to short. Lindor makes the play, and that's 4 up and 4 down. Ozuna hitting .352 in the month of June.
Well, Yachty with his offense, home runs in that last road trip. He had 5 home runs, two home run games, and a solo shot.
And you mix in his double, the one hit in the series thus far against Cleveland, that gives him now 486 career extra base hits, 11th in club history, with our buddy Jim Edmonds, who's celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday, ball game. You know Jimmy, light up his phone, tell him happy birthday.
Timmy's going to learn real quick. You stop counting those.
That's hit up the middle and a base hit.
It's nice and easy. You know, don't try to do too much. Just make contact. A lot of hits up the middle of the diamond. Ball's in the middle, so just take it right back where it came from. Right over the mound and skips on through. Now this starter, You know, he was at AA and AAA before he got called up to the big leagues this year. He was 6-1, 129 ERA, and 12 combined starts between AA and AAA.
There's Greg Garcia. Greg has hit safely in 9 of his last 10 starts. So Jairo Munoz take a ball off his foot last night. So Garcia at shortstop this evening. Here's the 0-1.
Munoz did take batting practice, so I'm sure it's sore, but he's available.
The 0-2 pitch to Greg Garcia. Pulled foul. This young man, if you include tonight, is now 19 2/3, 23 strikeouts, only 3 walks to start his big league career. He struck out 6 or more in his first 3 starts, and the only Indians to have done that, Louis Tiant and Herb Score. So you get the idea. It's been a very impressive start for the right-hander. Indians all told the fewest walks in baseball. That may get down, and it will. Garcia drops a little bloop into left, and it's runners at first and second, and 1 out for Dexter Fowler.
It's all about putting the ball in play. Not about how far or how well you hit a ball. It's just good results. And there, once again, Danny, we put the ball in play, good things can happen.
Garcia, 268 hitter on an 0-2 count, and you saw how deep that ball got.
Yeah, you let a ball get deep on you. You know, you're not trying to be aggressive and swing like you do the first couple strikes.
The switch hitting, Dexter Fowler. The Cardinals have as many games in June with 3 or more home runs as they do without.
I know.
7 and 7, and when they hit home runs, they win. Cardinals 11 and 6 when they hit a home run, 1 and 6 this month without it. A curveball, and it's 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch to Fowler. And a strikeout. See, Larry Vanover really gets into those called third strikes.
So much so we didn't know it.
Yeah, neither did Dexter. It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Rated E for everyone. He's had 23 pitches. Bieber, 20 of those have been strikes. Here's Colton Wong, who was 2 for 4 last night. So he popped his 6th home run of the year.
I learned something very first summer I went out pitching. You know, I was signed and playing for Joe Cunningham, Smokey Joe. And at that time, the manager had no coaches. You just had a manager. And so if you were the starting pitcher tonight, tomorrow you would be the first base coach. They only had 2 umpires in A-ball. So who was behind the plate tonight would be on the base paths. And an umpire told me, he goes, I really like working behind you because you throw strikes. So he's got in his mind that I throw strikes. So I started just try to expand the zone and everything and see how far I could go, just because he thought that I threw a lot of strikes.
I think it falls into the idea that we always mention that, especially early, if a pitcher sets the tone with strikes, they get calls.
That's what, when you said he's how few balls he's thrown, it made me think of that.
Two balls and two strikes on Colton Wong. Big gap in right center. And a strikeout. So back-to-back Ks for Bieber. Cardinals strand a pair. We played two. The top of the lineup coming up for Cleveland. Saturday. Don't know which bobblehead you'll get until you walk through the gates. The Carlos Martinez mystery hair bobblehead. In this series, Gant and Martinez 13 innings combined, 2 earned runs. Clevenger and Kluber 6 2/3, 8 earned. And that's a big reason why the Cardinals have taken the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, it just looked like a different club. And the first 2 games in Milwaukee.
There's a look at Clevenger. It was shocking last night to see what the Cardinals did against Kluber, and that's not a knock at the Cardinals. It's more just how good Kluber is.
Yes.
Here's Lindor. Then Michael Brantley and Jose Ramirez. 3rd inning of work for Flaherty. 2-0 our score. And Terry Francona, seeing that he didn't have his best stuff, Cardinals jumped on the cutter. I think a wise move. Get him out of there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just happy to hear that it wasn't injured. Just one of those days. And
the 2-0 pitch.
You know, you have that hour and 26-minute rain delay before the start of the game, and you know, sometimes it affects some guys, it doesn't affect others. I'm sure he's not using that as an excuse. I'm sure he's just saying, hey, it was my day to get beat up.
Yep. Few and far between, but it happens. John Gant, outstanding in his start. A lot of people talking about Ponce de Leon or Dakota Hudson, and don't overlook John Gant.
John Gant kind of silenced that talk a little bit, didn't he?
Sure did.
Sure does deserve to go back out there.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Lindor. And he walked him. First walk issued by Flaherty. Lindor knows how to start a rally. He's reached base with nobody on 85 times, now 86, and that's third most in baseball. So you think about a catalyst, a leadoff guy, and that's Lindor.
And he also knows how to steal a base, so got to be careful. 112 home runs for the Cleveland Indians. You don't want to put free passes ahead of the guys.
There's Michael Brantley. So getting on base, scoring runs, 64 of them, 2 ahead of Mike Trout. Have you looked at the numbers this year recently for Mike Trout?
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Maybe throwing over again. He is, and back in safely. Indians have 56 steals, 5th most in all of baseball.
Only caught 13 times.
Brantley comes in, having grounded out to first. He's 0 for 1. His average at the start of play at .314. 8th best in the American League. Jose Altuve, 345 for Houston. Lindor leaning towards second base, not running, and the pitch is strike. And you know this well, Al. It's interesting to watch a pitcher and how it affects them with the speed at first base of a guy like Lindor. If a pitch is up or losing location, those kind of things.
It's a trap. You know, you worry so much about the guy on base that you make careless pitches, split that concentration going to the plate.
0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flaherty's allowed just 1 stolen base in his major league career when he's been on the mound.
Cardinal pitchers are allowed to throw over on their own, but most of the time it's called by Mike Matheny from the bench.
And the 1-1. Get out of play. One ball and 2 strikes. Hit down the right field line, and it's a fair ball into the corner. Fowler out to dig it. Relay to Wong, and they'll hold up the runner at third. And Brantley in with a double, so a walk, a double, and some trouble here with 3, 4, and 5 coming up.
And I'm not going to say that that base, the double he just allowed, was because of, you know, worrying about the speed of Lindor, but it's a good example of, you know, like when you're sitting there holding the ball, trying to take the spring out of the legs of a base stealer. It does, you know, you got your own natural tempo. You want to throw a pitch, and you know, Mike Matheny will order, you know, hold a long time, do this, do that. Not every pitcher can do it. I don't think Gibson could do it, because he would start his windup and look in and get his sign from the catcher.
Here's a grounder. Martinez, he was playing back, hit so hard. Lindor stayed put at third. Big out.
Martinez has been active in this game already. 3 balls hit to him. He's been equal to the task.
He's only had 1 error in his last 37 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think a little maligned early, and people don't have the memory of what he's done of late, because he has improved quite a bit.
And you know that ball has to be hit extremely hard for Lindor not to score.
Sure.
So here's Encarnacion, a solo home run back in the second inning, hitting .314 with runners in scoring position.
Knew it was gone the minute you heard the sound of off the bat. There's the home run. And it didn't take long to get out. I'm just thinking right now, we'll watch Molina and see how far he sets up outside, or where it might be in his mind saying, I don't mind walking him and setting up a double play. Coming in now.
It's 2-0. Indians come into play tonight having lost 8 of their last 12 road games.
And now they put him on.
And offensively only hitting .220 in those games, and an intentional walk here to bring in Chisenhall. A solo home run to right, first time up.
I just had the feeling that they didn't mind walking the bases loaded to set up a possible double play or force out at every base.
And not pitching to Encarnacion.
Right, and not pitching to a guy that swings the bat well.
Yep. So the bases are loaded. Carpenter off the line at third. Infield back. There's strike one. I was thinking about the rookie of the years for the Dodgers, and they had pitchers, they had hitters, they had infielders, they had a catcher at Mike Piazza. Cardinals, it's been a while since they'd had a rookie of the year. Before it's all said and done, maybe Jack Flaherty is in that conversation. There's a broken bat, slowly hit. Wong out there to first and safe.
All right, kind of dangerous the way Chisenhall tried to jump for the bag at the last second. A lot of times you'll turn an ankle. He's had calf injuries in the past. Look at this flip from Wong. See how he jumped there, and a lot of time you'll roll an ankle. That's a real long backhanded flip. And Wong made it perfectly, and he was out. Army's safe. Call stands.
And the runners will be at first and third for Jason Kipnis. 3-0 our score. And the outfield is straight away, and the first pitch taken for a ball inside. Flaherty enjoyed that 1-2-3 first inning, 8 pitches, and he's been in trouble since. Second inning, back-to-back solo home runs by Encarnacion and Chisenhall. A couple of walks in this inning, one intentional to go along with the double. And the 1-0 pitch, yanked foul.
Kipnis is. Cardinals haven't figured out Kipnis yet. Batting .433 coming into this game against St. Louis pitching.
And we talk about walks in the game of baseball, in particular leadoff walks. League wide, the average in terms of that runner scoring is about 42%. So nearly half the time with a leadoff walk. This level, they make you pay with everything. 2 balls and 1 strike on Kipnis. Two and 2. The pitches by inning. It's up to 55 for Jack after that 8-pitch first, 28 in the second. And now a 2-2 pitch to Kipnis here. He struck out looking back in the second inning. Just missed.
Backdoor curveball.
Right before that pitch, Molina set up outside and pointed to Matt Carpenter as if to say, well, left-handed batter, that type of pitch, he may go with it. Be heads up. And Carpenter moved a few steps towards the line.
Like a slider now.
And the 3-2. Hit out of play.
Got underneath that one, but so did Kipnis with his swing. You know, I mentioned that I thought last time out he had the best curveball we've ever seen, and he's always got that devastating slider. But a lot of times when guys throw both of those, you end up with something in between. And it looks like right now he's got a better feel for the curveball, and his slider is a much smaller break, so it's more spinning on the same plane. Got to keep on throwing them, and eventually you'll get the feel for it. But
here's a 3-2 pitch. Fly ball, shallow center. Pham racing in. He won't get there. It drops in. And Tommy will just run the ball back into the infield. And it's a 4-0 lead for Cleveland on the bloop single by Kipnis.
That's what kills you as a pitcher. You'd rather have somebody hit one off the wall than to have a little bleeder bloop that comes through. He didn't want the fastball, the curveball, and he wanted to throw the slider. And can't say that it was a bad pitch because he just had a bad result. But he didn't hit it hard, and it just fell into no man's land.
So 4-0 our score. The batter will be Perez. Thinking about those rookies of the year, the race, Brian Anderson of Miami, who's had an outstanding season. Walker Buehler, pitcher with the Dodgers. Jack Flaherty. We'll see some good young talent from the Braves come through this weekend.
Right. Now Albies is not a rookie, right?
Correct.
Had too much time last year.
Acuna
is.
That's fouled back just below us.
Now some of these guys like Meadows and Acuna haven't played a lot of games, but by the time the end of the season they'll have enough games played to warrant that a good solid look.
Juan Soto of Washington, another one. Maybe Scott Kingery of the Phillies. So there's some pretty good young talent right now. One ball and one strike.
Throw to first. Now he's looking in to Mike Matheny to see what they want to do with the running game. Fastball away.
2 balls and a strike. Last 5 outs, it's taken 52 pitches for Flaherty, so it's been a struggle here after that 1-2-3 first. And the 2-1 pitch. Naquin on deck.
Not sure Jack's comfortable with his fastball tonight. Looks like he's shaking off Molina quite a few times on the fastball. Didn't want the fastball there, wants the slider.
And the 3-1. This is already the 4th full count Flaherty's had to deal with tonight.
And remember with the heat today, that's bad enough on your pitchers, but also you got to think of your fielders out there in the field.
And he gets a strikeout. Indians add to their lead. It's 4-0.
Serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
4-0, the Indians with the lead. And a hot night here in St. Louis. And a strike to Jack Flaherty, hitting 167. Carpenter to follow, and then we'll see Tommy Pham. And it's a ball and a strike. So the Indians get back-to-back solo home runs in the top of the second. 2 more in the third, and lead at 4-0. Jack is 3 for 18. Puts it in play. Bieber. With Matt Carpenter coming up, let's take a look at our Kubota power stats. It's a leadoff home run again, and now 18 of those for Carpenter in his career. That was in game 2, another home run later in the game, and now up to 15 this year. Carpenter closing in on Bryce Harper, who leads the National League with 19.
Yeah, who would have thought that Carpenter would be leading the ball club in home runs?
This is the 30th consecutive game that Carpenter has been the Cardinal leadoff man. May 26th, the last time that he was not in that spot, and it went to Tommy Pham.
Next year, can we just say he's our leadoff man and not play that little experiment?
Just move on, huh?
Well, you can't deny the numbers.
Yeah.
Showed May 15th he's batting 140. You know, it was outside of the leadoff spot. Put him in the leadoff spot and takes off again.
Hitting 291 this year as a leadoff man with 11 home runs. OPS of 978, which is tremendous. The .383 on base percentage, so numbers bear out that this has been a pretty good spot for Matt Carpenter, and that's the first walk by Bieber.
Matt has such a good eye, but even he took a step towards first base and stopped just to make sure. Larry Vanover confirmed that it would be a walk.
You a fan of Justin Bieber, Al?
I wouldn't disappoint all the young ladies, but of course not.
You're not much of a fan of music. You've told me that
That's
in the past.
That's true.
The was a YouTube sensation. I've seen the
I know
video.
who he is.
Oh, I'm not saying you don't know. I'm just giving you a little background here.
Oh, thank you, because that's all I know.
You know, and then all of a sudden he's discovered and becomes just an international sensation. Here's a 1-0 pitch. One of the funniest pictures I've ever seen of Justin Bieber. I'm not sure he thinks it's funny. He's playing in the Celebrity All-Star game for the NHL, and Chris Pronger checks him into the boards, and the cameraman is right there. And I mean, he got him at the right time. Bieber's face is smashed against the plexiglass, and right behind him, it's almost like a stage photo, is a smiling Chris Pronger.
I've seen that one.
Chris Pronger was a vicious, and I mean vicious, hockey player. Here's a 2-1 pitch.
And the size of the players in baseball, but look how they've changed in hockey too.
Well, I'm sure you'll go home and look at YouTube for some great videos of Justin Bieber. And while you're there, you'll see also just an up-and-comer Miranda Sings. Just tremendous. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And a ground ball that's fair. Long throw, and Pham retired.
Just right over the line. Tough play right here. Did the right play. Wouldn't have time to go to the second. Much longer throw, and you know how Pham hustles all the time. But
well, Jose Martinez came in 11th in the National League in average. Scooter Gennett of the Reds leading, 334. Nick Markakis, will see him Friday night. Outfielder for the Braves at 326.
He's having quite the year, isn't he?
Yep. And Jose now 9th in RBI, and that's on the rise because here comes Carpenter. He'll score. Jose Martinez gets the Cardinals on the board to make it 4-1.
10 years in the minor leagues, even spent some time independent baseball, and he can hit. Breaking ball hanging up, and he hits so many base hits to the opposite field. It's really hard to defend against him, and he has that great plate coverage. He'll foul off a lot of pitches down, but he's a high ball hitter, and that breaking ball up in the zone, he gets the base hit and drives in his 51st run.
The 28th two-out RBI for Martinez, second most in baseball behind Trevor Story, who leads the National League in RBI total with 58. Strike two, Ozuna. We were talking about Mike Trout. You compare Ozuna's last 30 games to Trout's. Ozuna ahead in average, just 2 back in home runs. They're tied in RBI. Fewer strikeouts. Marcel's starting to put it together. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Instead, Bieber steps away. The comparison between Mike Trout and Marcell Ozuna, at least for the last 33 games. That's just to give you an idea that, you know what, this guy's pretty hot. And it's 0-2. He grounded out to short first time up.
Yeah, you talk about those numbers, and you can say he's really not carrying the Cardinals either. So he can get even hotter than he is right now.
Been very good at Busch Stadium, 6th best home average in the National League at 324.
Notice the fluorescence sleeve again today.
The cat was all over that the other night.
Well, he had it covered.
So back to neon tonight. And Jimmy in his interview wore a neon sleeve. Sure to just to have Marcel feel at home. Here's the 0-2.
Curveball that didn't pull down on it.
Big gap in left center. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ozuna. Ozuna with a base hit into right. Martinez stops at second. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Yadier Molina.
I'm getting the idea that some of these guys are got a little bit of an idea what the ball looks, the action. See right off the end of the bat outside, but Carl Willis, pitching coach for, been around a while, been different stops. He was a forkball pitcher. I saw in a little bit of video when he was warming up, Bieber was warming up, that Carl was trying to tell him about the front shoulder flying open. Can't let the front shoulder as a pitcher or as a hitter, you can't let it fly open.
Only one of his 11 home runs have been here at Busch Stadium, surprisingly.
That is surprising. Be a perfect time to get number 2 here at home.
Sometimes he'll guess early in a count and just let it rip and try to tie the game up. There's strike 1.
It's usually when he's expecting a fastball.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it. But you know, he's not afraid to hit with a strike down.
Ozuna at first, Martinez at second. 4-1 our score. 0-2 the count. Yachty had a base hit to center first time up. It's 21 pitches this inning for Bieber. And the 0-2 put in play to third. From the camera, Phil Nichols. A look inside the Busch Stadium. Cardinals get on the board. It's 4-1. Too far away. August 6th through the 12th, and limited tickets remain for this once-in-a-lifetime event at Bell Reef Country Club. PGAchampionship.com. PGAchampionship.com to find out more. Get those tickets. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and we check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Danny, you talk about an escalation in hostilities. Adam Wainwright and Skip Schumacher have been having a little prank war. Last night, Waino found his van had become a casualty. Skip had somebody put signs on Adam's ride for something called Bodies by Waino. Adam said he laughed when he saw it, but he also told me, I can't just take those off. They're glued on there. So I'm going to have them professionally removed. Well done by Skip. Now he's in big trouble. Dan, it all started with Skip sending room service to Adam's room at 6 a.m. when the Cards were in San Diego. Waino responding by having his nickname sewn on the back of Skip's shirt when the Padres were in St. Louis. And Dan, as you know, nobody knows how these prank wars will end.
No, we don't, but that's funny. Nice work by Skip Schumacher, and there's an out off the bat of Naquin, the first here in the top of the 4th. Nice work by Skip Schumacher. That's funny.
Very nice.
That's good stuff.
Yes.
Did you ever have like the gum on the hat, Al, or hot foot?
Somebody tried the hot foot one time.
It only took one time, right?
One time.
You didn't like it, did you?
No, and I didn't like, saw guys in the bullpen.
This could be the first major league hit for Shane Bieber, and it is. Cut off by Ozuna. Bieber to second base and sliding in with a double. His first major league hit.
He made a couple swings the first time up that you looked like he knew what he was doing, and then just the way he slid into second base, you could tell a pretty good athlete. One of the pranks that guys used to do that they learned they don't do it with me was fill your glove full of dirt.
You didn't like that?
Well, I mean, I'm coming in a kind of a key part of the game, and all of a sudden your hand's sweaty too, and you put it into a glove full of dirt. Comes mud. No, I didn't like that.
You didn't like it. Here's Francisco Lindor. And a strike. Was it Bodies by Waino? Is that what it was called?
Bodies by Waino.
Yeah. And the 0-1 slowly hit up the line at first. Martinez steps on the bag. Bieber to third. A reminder that St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, Guardians of Childhood, and by Toyota. Let's go places.
Had a catcher that I'd be warming up coming into a save situation, and I'm about ready to throw, and he turned his head, and it's like pantomime trying to get a phone number from a girl in the stands. Now that's not the way you want to prepare for a tight ball game.
Wait a minute. You'd be warming up.
Yes, to this catcher.
In the bullpen?
In the bullpen, but I'm coming in like a couple pitches because of a game on the line situation, and this guy I was doing it as a joke, but once again, it's one of those jokes that you don't appreciate in those circumstances.
How good looking was she?
I couldn't tell. I wasn't looking at her. I was looking at the glove.
You were focused on the glove.
Yes. Trying to throw through the glove.
One ball and 2 strikes on Michael Brantley.
Need to strand this run. Keep him out there on the bases.
Brantley scored. Also doubled into the corner in right field. 3-2. As Flaherty's been pitching behind better part of the night. A lot of 3-2 counts.
Haven't had that fastball command.
That's now the 5th 3-2 count of the night for Jack Flaherty. And the next to Michael Brantley. Lifted in the air to right field, but Fowler is there. No damage done midway through 4. And it's 4-1 Cleveland. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals trailing by the score of 4-1 on the banks of the Mississippi here at Busch Stadium. Another great day of World Cup action tomorrow on Fox and FS1. England taking on Belgium at noon. You can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Greg Garcia, Dexter Fowler, Colton Wong for the Cardinals. Bieber was on base. So now he's just finishing up his warm-up pitches, getting loose here for the 4th. I would assume it wouldn't take long to get warmed up on a night like tonight.
Doesn't take long at all. Now, we've had some much hotter days, but I don't think had as high a humidity and oppressive heat with just about 90 degrees today.
Well, Jack Flaherty is due up 4th for the Cardinals, and with that they get Austin Gomber loose.
And you can do that because you have the off day tomorrow.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Greg Garcia, singled to left field, first time up. Hot night. It's been a battle. This is one of those times I'm sure Mike will say, you know, the eye test is telling you it has not been easy tonight. He's had 5 3-2 counts. Also last time out, a lot of pitches, so you got to be careful. Lifted in the air out to shallow left, and the catch made by Michael Brantley. And as you mentioned, off day tomorrow, so
yeah,
and the starters have gone deep. All those things come into play.
Exactly. And you know, even if he was throwing well, you're going to have to be some stages during this year that you're going to have to protect innings for young guys like Flaherty.
So with one out, it's Dexter Fowler. One of the best spots to be when you're down on the field here at Busch Stadium is the walkway just about where Mike Matheny stands in the dugout. There's cold, and I mean cold, air that blows through that walkway, and they've got the fans down there in the clubhouse. In the dugout, guys can cool off a little bit. Wasn't that long ago there were heaters.
You see that tubing right there that circulates moisture. You got the fan, and then you get a little moisture blowing on you to keep it even cooler.
One ball and two strikes on Dexter Fowler. He was called out on strikes back in the second.
Cardinal hitters haven't liked some of the pitches been inside, but part of the game today, rarely do pitchers pitch inside.
And Fowler strikes out. Don't miss the Budweiser Bash Tuesday, July 31st in the new Budweiser Terrace. Enjoy live music. Exciting new area of the ballpark. Purchase a theme ticket to the Budweiser Bash July 31st. Get a bobblehead and autograph from former Cardinal Larry Walker, one of our favorites. Tickets at cardinals.com/budbash.
It's become a very popular place, hasn't it?
Budweiser Terrace. 4 strikeouts. Here's Wong and a good breaking ball. Colton called out on strikes back in the second inning.
Talk about this young pitcher and his good control. He's usually pitching ahead in the count. That makes a big difference.
Wong hit by the pitch, among the league leaders in that category.
That's number 11.
So that'll be it for Jack Flaherty. His night is through. And the Cardinals will pinch hit here with Jairo Munoz.
Big time where you really do get to see Gomberg, go multiple innings. Hopefully Munoz, it's good to see him. Like you said, knocked out of the game yesterday, fouling a ball off his ankle, but took batting practice. Didn't start the game, but it's okay. You just see him pinch hit here.
2 outs and a runner at first. This was last night. And that foul ball off the shin or the top of the left foot near the ankle. Got out of the box okay, and then really limped as he got towards first base and then off the field.
Yeah, a lot of times when you try to stop.
And he hits it back to Bieber. Cardinals strand a runner, their 5th of the night. We played 4. Austin Gomberg comes in to pitch when we come back. action in the bullpen, and the bullpen has been very good for the Cardinals here in the last 5 games. 12 innings and a .75 ERA with 11 strikeouts and a couple of walks. Holland has helped. Myers has really helped. Gomber's been good. Hicks and Norris. List goes on and on. Our Chevy call to the pen. Well, Tyler Lyons is not that far away from coming back. Cecil getting better. Jim had a nice visit with Brett on the pregame show. It'd be interesting what they'd want to do with Gomber. Stretch him out again.
I would think you probably wouldn't want to hear it, but send him down to the minor leagues and have him start. Keep on starting.
And that certainly, I think, at this point would be on the table.
Kind of out of necessity. He's had to be the situational lefty, which is not ideal for him. And that's why even with Cecil pitching well his last 4 times, you know, that could, and Lyons come back, then you can have Gomber go down and be a starter, where next time we see him at that point, it might be starting here in the big leagues.
And the 2-2 pitch. He did go, and so it's a strikeout for Gomber of Jose Ramirez, the switch hitter.
How about a real good hitter here? Totally fooled. Ball bouncing what, 2 feet in front of the plate. There's Tyler. I don't think Tyler's had his breaking ball all year either.
Two 2-0 the count on Edwin Encarnacion. The shift on the left side of the infield. And a strike. Encarnacion, a solo home run to left, and intentional walk back in the 3rd. Last 4 games, the bullpen has retired 32 of 39 batters. So even further the point of just how well they have pitched. The 2-2 pitch to Encarnacion inside, backs him off the plate. 96 from Gomber, which has been something we have seen from him. Transition from starter to a reliever, an uptick in his velocity. Encarnacion drives it out to deep left center. Ozuna back with just enough room.
And when you talk about Gomber, and I think he's best suited being in the rotation because he has reverse stuff. He has the ability to get right-handed hitters out better than he gets lefties. And so trying to be a situational lefty for him is not ideal. Right-handed batters are just now 1 for 17 against him. And left-handed batters are 7 for 19, a .368 average.
So early, though. I mean, do you think that changes as we go along?
A lot of your left-handers, they actually do have better, you know, they get better suited to get right-handed batters out. Now, what is a little funny about him is the fact he has really a good breaking ball, and that usually would be the neutralizing pitch to get lefties out. But for whatever reason, it's been a bit of a struggle here at the major league level. See this curveball here. It's a good curveball, and that should be able to get any hitter out. Another curve.
Wong going out. He'll make the catch, and a 1-2-3 for Gomber. 4-1 our score, and we're midway through 5. Top of the lineup coming up. Well, there's a line on Shane Bieber. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Came on a 2-out base hit by Martinez to bring in Carpenter. 4-1 our score. Carpenter with a base hit into left center. Rolling all the way to the wall. And Mate leadoff double on base for the 2nd time. He's now reached base in 11 of his last 13 plate appearances.
Nice roll right now, and hopefully the 3rd time through the order, see the Cardinals have a little bit of luck. Not sure that didn't break his bat, but well placed out in left center, and as you said, he got all the way to the wall, guaranteeing his double. Cardinals before this winning streak of 4 games weren't getting any extra base hits other than a home run. Now you're starting to see more and more doubles.
That's his, well, it's a double now in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
Looking at some of the numbers. Here's Tommy Pham. Cardinals, we saw Carpenter, and I wonder 3rd time through if this will be maybe a different approach. Early in counts to attack Shane Bieber, who's at least for the most part tonight around the strike zone.
Yeah, throwing strikes.
Yeah, and see if the Cardinals want to get after him early in counts. I mean, that's rare that Carpenter is swinging at a first pitch.
Right, but it does make sense against a guy that is noted for having the best control. It was his forte in the minor leagues. Best control pitcher in Cleveland's minor league system.
And Tommy Pham looks at a strike. 3rd time through. It's a small sample size, but teams have been hitting .381 against him.
And this is just his 4th start. So, as you said, he went deep into his last start. 7 innings, wasn't it?
And 8 for 21, couple of home runs. 3rd time through. And those are the only home runs he's allowed. Through 7 scoreless against the Tigers in his last start.
Surprised Tommy, who's 0 for his last 22, how he took a first pitch strike with a fastball. But you're kind of in between, aren't you? trying to fight your way out of it.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Pham chops it to third. Carpenter stays put. And that's the first out here in the bottom of 5. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets until the first pitch. Sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today. StubHub, official partner of your St. Louis Cardinals. Jose Martinez is 1 for 2.
Break up the Reds. They won again today.
How about what Jim Riggleman has done? Great job.
They're getting ready to print World Series tickets.
Wouldn't go that far, but he's done a nice job. Last time that we were through Cincinnati, the folks that follow the Reds every day did say that Riggleman has got the club out early. Extra ground balls, situational running, you know,
that.
A lot of different things that he's trying to implement and change the culture of that franchise.
And you can see the Cardinals are doing a lot more of that also. Before they take batting practice, there's a lot of infield work, outfield work, throwing, talking about base running, leads, how to get better jumps, how to go from first to third. More teaching at this level than ever before.
Reds started out 3-17. Since then, they're above 500, 32-29.
And remember, it took a little while for them to gel under Jim Riggleman.
And the 1-1 is hit down the right field line, foul. I talked to Paul DeYoung today at length, and it looks like he'll start a rehab assignment more than likely over the weekend. And he said a couple of really interesting things to me. One, he talked about Jose Oquendo, and he said Jose Oquendo already has made me a better defensive player. He said it's not just about hitting ground balls. He said the drills that we do, it's about footwork.
Yes, footwork.
And having the right technique and how you field a ground ball. Flip a ball to second, the turn on a double play. He said I've never seen anything like it. He said he's been tremendous in that regard. And the really interesting thing that Paul said, he said mentally I'm at the best spot I think I've been offensively maybe ever in my career. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said you learn a lot by watching. He said I've taken this time to really try and study the opposition. What is a pitcher trying to do? How are they trying to get my teammates out? What would they try to do with me? And he said I like video. I'll look at it. Sometimes, though, I don't get out of video what I can get watching the game. What a piece of hitting that is by Martinez. Kept it fair inside the first base line. And Carpenter stops and back to the bag at third. Outstanding piece of hitting by Martinez. His second hit of the night.
I was watching. Oquendo initially sent, and look at that, just chopped the ball, just trying to make contact. Uses the wrist to get the velocity coming off the bat. First baseman there. Oquendo was sending it, or then he holds him up. When he's waiting until he saw the right fielder Chisenhall come up with the ball and firing, and that's when he tried to hold him up. And I think definitely the correct decision. In my mind, Oquendo is the best third base coach I've seen in a long, long time, and I said that before. And you're going to get some guys thrown out just because you're trying to be overly aggressive, but his instincts there are outstanding.
One swing of the bat in this game is tied. Ozuna at the plate. 2 runners on. 4-1 our score. First pitch to him.
And no activity in their bullpen either, so they still believe in the young man.
Really interesting stuff, though, there from Paul DeYoung.
Oh, absolutely. And
such a smart kid.
What I like about it is, Andy Van Slyke, when he was coaching in the American League, said he thought it was a taboo for players to be able to go up and look at video during the game. Sit there and watch the pitcher and learn. See a similar type hitter. See how the approach that he tries to get that hitter out to give you an idea of what he might do against you.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Ozuna. Cardinals more than likely looking at a rehab assignment that would include a couple of 7-inning games, a day off, then a couple of 9-inning games, get him back up to speed of playing a full 9 before the point in which they decide to bring him back to the major league roster, and it'll be a welcome sight to see Paul DeJong back.
Yeah, and I think it would happen on the upcoming road trip.
And a swing and a miss. So strikeout of Ozuna on 3 pitches, and that's 5 tonight for Bieber.
Nippon going after breaking balls. Some people call it a slider, other people call it a curveball. Looks like more like a slider. It's thrown most of the time in the 80s, low 80s. There's some of that 2-out magic, Dan.
There's Yadier Molina, and a grounder that's hit to Lindor. He'll flip to second, and the Cardinals strand a pair. It stays 4-1 after 5. What's on tap against Julio Teheran? Teheran 5-5. Michaelis 8-2 after a win over the weekend against Milwaukee. And that's a look at your Budweiser What's on Tap. And we'll come your way at 6:30 on Friday.
I don't know about you, but I really enjoy watching Michaelis pitch.
Love it.
I mean, you just talk about conserving energy, and can rear back to 98 when he needs to, but most of the time he's living 92 and just throwing strikes, breaking ball, keeping hits, batters off balance.
I'm with you. Fun to watch. There's that big sweeping breaking ball. Gomber's best pitch, the curveball,
yes.
went right.
And I think a lot of times it's like a 12-6.
Little flare out to shallow left, drops in for a base hit for Kipnis, his second hit of the night.
But you're thinking about 12-6 with the breaking ball, but these left-handed hitters, most of them are low ball hitters, so that their swing and the ball plane is kind of coming in the same spot, and that's why I think the lefties have some success against them.
Here's Roberto Perez, who has struck out twice. Well, the Cardinals have some arms. Their minor leagues. There's a bunt. Carpenter bare hands and makes a really good play. That is not an easy play. Tim McCarver was talking about this the other day. I want to get your perspective on it. He said you might see this once every couple weeks where guys come in bare hand, make that play. And he said now it's routine with third baseman.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the guys are exceptional athletes, bigger, stronger. You know, now there's so much information. You know, I think their anticipation is a lot greater. But remember, Carpenter doesn't have the strongest arm either. So to make an off-balance throw and that barehanded play coming in like that, that's a heck of a play.
Here's Tyler Naquin with a runner at second base. He's 1 for 2. Nobody up and throwing in the Cleveland bullpen. Their pitcher on deck. The Cardinals in their minor leagues are getting outing after outing good starting pitching, whether it be most notable would be Daniel Ponce de Leon and Dakota Hudson. Those two. Dakota Hudson is not on the 40-man roster, and he does not have to be protected this offseason. So, you know, his road to the big leagues through looking at what you do from the business side might be a little bit tougher this year. We'll see.
Oh boy, right into the dugout. Sure didn't hit anybody.
But I'd say this though, Al, make no mistake about it. If he continues to pitch the way that he is, the Cardinals, he's going to force their hand.
Well, yeah, and they can put him on because you do have a couple guys could move to the 60-day disabled list.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. And you say that and you're right now, but then you think about a guy like Wainwright coming back.
Yeah, yeah, currently.
It could complicate it.
A couple of weeks from now, you may not have that luxury. But
when you pitch like that, you open up eyes and you.
Well, he's opened up eyes. He opened up last year in spring training.
Yeah, you create tough decisions.
Yeah.
There's Adam Wainwright and Adam Olson behind, part of the Cardinals medical team. 2-2 the count with 1 out and a runner at second base. A big curveball again by Gomber. Two and two the count. And he had him out in front, pulled foul. Not much of an effort there from the bald gentleman. One just kind of stuck his glove out with no intention of actually making a catch. The other one off the carom tried to get out of the way.
I think that gentleman thought the first one was going to make the play. And I think he was glad it didn't hit him.
Into left center, that ball is down. It's a base hit for Tyler Naquin on his way to second base. The throw by Pham. He's in there safely as a run scores to make it 5-1 Cleveland.
Another one is not hit particularly hard, but it just loops over the infield and then kind of hits the gap, and he's able to not only drive in a run but get himself out in a scoring position.
So 1 out and a runner at second base. Strike on Shane Bieber. So the lefties, to further your point, now hitting .381 against Gomber. They're 2 for 3 tonight. That's the first run the bullpen of the Cardinals has allowed in 11 2/3. 1-2 the count on Bieber. Little bit low.
Keep Bieber out there.
And the 2-2 pitch, a strikeout. Gomber has his second strikeout of the night. Transplant Awareness Day presented by Washington University and Barnes Jewish Transplant Center is July 1st. Purchase of a theme ticket, you'll receive a Cardinals cap supporting organ donation. Tickets at cardinals.com/transplant. Lindor with a fly ball into right. Fowler over in foul territory and makes the catch. Flips it to the ball dude who wasn't ready for it. 5-1. Take home a one-of-a-kind Cardinals all-over print shirt courtesy of Shane Company. Get your tickets to the June 29th Cardinals game against the Braves. Cardinals.com/promotions.
We need some runs.
It's Greg Garcia, Dexter Fowler, and Colton Wong. Cardinals have been out hit 8-6 and they trail 5-1. And the first pitch is fouled back by Garcia. Third baseman is Ramirez. He's in on the grass. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. This weekend, 2 of the 3 games on Fox Sports Midwest. That'll be Friday and Sunday. Nationally televised game on Saturday. Miles Michaelis and Julio Teheran. Luke Weaver and Brandon McCarthy in game 2. John Gant and Mike Fultonevich in game number 3. The 2-1 pitch. Hit out of play, 2-2.
Braves are a little bit ahead of schedule, aren't they?
Probably if you're a fan of the Braves, you're saying, no, it's taking too long, but I agree with you. They're now 45 and 34 after their loss today.
Got a couple of really young, exciting players.
And more coming, too.
Yeah.
Loaded minor league system. The 2-2 pitch to Greg Garcia. Lifts it in the air out to center. Naquin back and makes a catch. Garcia's 1 for 3.
Bieber some credit. Pitching a heck of a game. He can scatter some hits and he can leave some guys on base.
Here's Dexter Fowler 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. One looking, the other swinging. Two balls and no strikes. Two and one.
First major league win was his second start, and he allowed 10 hits in 5 2/3 innings, but only 1 run.
The 2-1 pitch fouled back. 2-2.
You can do that when you don't walk anybody.
And the 2-2 pitch stays alive. Popped up and out of play. The gap there in right center. Fowler's hit a lot of fly balls to left, and in particular shallow left field. And again, he just got a piece to stay alive. Puts a ball in the gap in right. That's a triple the way that he can run.
Let's hope for more, but let's have a debate whether it's a triple or inside the park. Do it.
8th pitch coming. Hit out to shallow right, and the catch is made. That's 4 in a row after the base hit by Martinez inside the first base line back in the 5th. Here's Colton Wong. He struck out looking and was hit by a pitch. Jed Jerko has moved to the on-deck circle. And Wong looks at a ball low.
It's like Oliver Perez is beginning to throw in the Cleveland bullpen. Tuivalala in the Cardinals, and there you see Jed. But Colton's got to extend the inning. We see Jed and then Tui.
1 ball and 1 strike. Good curveball. You can can see this young man's got a pretty good clue of what he's doing.
Yeah, he really does. Got a good feel for it.
And the 1-2 pitch. Wong again hit by the pitch. Second time that's happened, number 12 this year.
This one didn't feel so good.
This one a little bit lower than the last one, and not the fleshy part of the body. So Jed Jerko will be the pinch hitter. Wong will stay in the game. Munoz pinch hit back in the 4th inning, grounded back to the pitcher Bieber. And now it's Jed Jerko. The all-time record for hit by pitches in Cardinals history, 31. That was Steve Evans in 1910. Most recently, Fernando Vina, he had it down to a science. Left-handed batter, second baseman, back in 2000. He had 28 hit by pitches. I would imagine that some were a little easier to take than others.
Yeah, oh yeah. Ron Hunt smiling right now.
You know, John Jay, another one that would be hit by pitches a lot. He had a year in which he had 20. That was in 2014. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Jed Jerko.
Talking about a 2-strike approach. Ron Hunt would stand up there just trying to punch the ball right over the infielder, and if you threw it anywhere, the game needed him to get on base or something like that, he'd take one in the head or any other part of the body. And he had a knack of putting the ball in play too.
And it's 2-2. Ron Hunt had the all-time record for hit by pitches for a while. Then it was
Baylor.
Yep, Don Baylor. Craig Biggio.
I don't know if I ever hit Baylor, but I've been hit by Baylor.
With a punch?
Several. In the back.
And the catch is made. So Jerko the final out. We move to the 7th, and it's 5-1 Cleveland. 4. Sam Tuivailala into the ball game for the Cardinals. This would be his 24th appearance. 3.63 ERA. He was able to get out of a key jam in the game on Saturday against Milwaukee. And into the ball game in relief of Austin Gomber, went 2 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, struck out 2. Jed Jerko, after pinch hitting for Gomber, stays in the game. He'll take over at second base for Colton Wong.
Saw Tui, the left-handed hitters are hitting him at a high clip, so this is going to be a real test for him with their left-handed swingers.
Michael Brantley, Jose Ramirez, Encarnacion, so 2 of the 3 hitting from the left side.
You know, so many stats are just relevant and others just kind of throw away, but you kind of wonder why Tui pitches so much better here at home. You know, opposing hitters are 205 average in his 10 home games, and then on the road they're hitting 367.
A few things I always look at with a reliever. First batter faced, what do they do?
That's very important. Not as much today because so many of them start innings, but when you're coming in the middle of an inning, runners on base, that is the most telling stat. Is what do you do with the first batter?
And inherited runners to score. Yep.
And that has a lot to do with that first batter you face, because you're coming in with men on base and you got to be a fireman and put it out.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Michael Brantley. First batter face to Tuivailala, the average 421, so he's pitched out of trouble.
Yes.
We know he's got very, very good stuff. High 90s fastball, good breaking pitch. Just a matter about fastball command more times than not with him. 2-0 pitch. And even Molina surprised at that. 3-0.
It really does make a difference if you're pitching ahead of the count or behind. Not many will survive pitching behind in the count.
And there's a strike. 3-1. And a fly ball into left, and the catch is made.
Back and got him.
You know, 2 of the top 4 in OPS in this game. OPS, such an important stat in the game of baseball. Traditional stats still always show them: average, home runs, runs batted in. OPS, on base plus slugging. And you've got Jose Ramirez in the top 4 in all of baseball. And really, it's, you know, you think about it, it's probably the most important stat now in baseball. Ramirez came in on base percentage of .398. So the 0-2 pitch, 1-2. I've even heard GMs talk about it, though. You know, say to the media or fans when they visit, they say the first thing they look at, OPS.
Yeah, because it tells you all about getting on base plus slugging percentage. So, you know, some will look at on base percentage, but OPS tells the story of, can you get on base and can you deliver, put people, you know, and drive people in. And he's only 5'9". Stocky player, but packs a punch, and a switch hitter, you know. Not a lot of difference, just 10 points difference between both sides.
And the 2-2. Fly ball into left. Ozuna with the catch. The ball that maybe was lost in the lights.
Yeah, got in the lights. You see a guy feel like that.
Brings in Encarnacion, and this is one of two Nissan drives of the game. It was back-to-back solo home runs. Encarnacion, number 19, Chisenhall, his first of the year, just over the wall in right. And your Nissan drives of the game. Cardinals have held Ramirez, by the way, in check. He's now 1 for 11.
Done a good job against, Lindor too. Lindor's what, 1 for 11.
Encarnacion with solo home run back in the second. Little check swing and a foul ball. 1-2.
Neil Ramirez, right-hander, warming up.
Two and two. And the next two, Encarnacion. Hard hit to short, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tuivailala. Time to stretch here at the ballpark. Top of the lineup coming up in a 5-1 game. Six innings, 6 hits, a run. It was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 5. And he is tonight's Budweiser play of the game. He had 99 pitches.
And he stranded 8 in this ball game, and a little bit different. Look at the usage of his pitches on the right side for the season, and then you could see a little different tonight. He threw 51% fastballs. The season usually throws 61. He's more than doubled the curveball usage, about the same amount of sliders, and a little bit less of the changeups. But Cardinals had their opportunities. They've stranded 8 in this ball game, but just couldn't get the big blow yet.
Neil Ramirez, our Chevy call to the pen. 2.51 ERA. This being his 18th game that he's appeared in. So he's got the top of the lineup. And Carpenter yanks it foul. Something to keep in mind, from the 7th inning on, the Indians have the 2nd highest ERA in baseball, and it's near 5. Andrew Miller is hurt, and that's a big loss out of their pen. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Carpenter, and that's in the dirt. Big Cardinal fans, Emily Mooney and Jamie Tottleben, are here tonight and watching Cardinals baseball. They never miss a telecast. Here's a look at the Indians bullpen and their recent stretch of work. Here's a 1-1. And Carpenter pulls it foul. Ooh, boy. He made the play. And thank goodness he's got a glove, because his teeth nearly caught that. Honda home run inning. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri with a Cardinal home run.
Ramirez has not allowed a run in the month of June. He's covering 10 2/3 innings.
Here's a 1-2. Tapped foul.
Time was a free agent. Minor league contract, non-roster invited to Major League camp.
The crowd tonight, 43,598. 43598. And the 1-2 pitch to Carpenter. In the air to center, racing in Naquin, a sliding catch, and he comes up with it. I was watching him right before that first, or that moment ago, that swing by Carpenter, and he was stretching, getting loose, walked into the pitch, and comes up with a very nice play in center field.
Yeah, got a good jump on this ball and confidence to slide and hold on to it, keep it in front of him, using 2 hands there. Look at it, it's in the wrist. So he needed 2 hands. If he didn't have the bare hand to hold on to that ball, it would have fallen out.
Here's Tommy Pham, and a breaking pitch taken for his strike. So Bieber tonight, his 6 innings of work. The Cardinals have been out hit 8-6. Pham looking for his first hit. Grounder left side. Lindor. Did he get him? Sure did. Nice play. Made that look easy.
Sure did.
Anything but.
Threw the ball, utilize what we used to do on the turf. But he throws it out there, so you on the grass, so you get a real true hop for the first baseman. And you know, Tommy's running hard all the time, trying to break an 0 for 24 little slump. So very nice play.
Marcell Ozuna with 33 hits in June. Only Paul Goldschmidt has more. He's got 35. And Ozuna is at the on-deck circle. When we first saw Arizona, the Cardinals not only, shut him down, they went after him. They saw that they could pitch to Paul Goldschmidt, and he did not do much damage against St. Louis.
No.
But that has changed.
Yeah, he's one of those hitters that might have a bad stretch and everything, but he's not going to lose confidence for very long.
Jose Martinez with a base hit to right inside the first base line back in the 5th. Carpenter was at second, and at the last moment he was held up, it looked like, by Jose Oquendo. Did not score. Cardinals had first and third, 1 out, and did not get a run, and that's one of the turning points maybe in this game. And a fly ball lifted to right. Chisenhall with the catch, and we are through 7 here at Busch Stadium. Cleveland 5, St. Louis 1. It'll be Chisenhall, Kipnis, and Perez. Cardinals, it's been tough to string anything together offensively tonight.
Yes, it has been.
Had a couple of opportunities, but nothing to show for it. Short start by Flaherty. The bullpen in 3 innings has given up just 1 run, so they've kept it within reason. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. I mentioned that the Indians continue their road trip. It's a 3-city trip. They will fly all the way to Oakland tonight. They've got an off day tomorrow, play the A's, then back in the state of Missouri to face Kansas City to finish up their trip. So it'll be a late night or an early morning, however you want to look at it, for Terry Francona and the Indians. Such is life in the big leagues.
Danny, the first road trip when I was called up, I missed the first 2 cities. But it was a 5-city trip.
That's right. I mean, everything was different. Yeah.
It was the 3 teams on the West Coast, San Francisco, Dodgers, and San Diego. I joined in San Diego, went to Chicago, and then went to Pittsburgh. 18-day trip. And you were talking about the old days with the train travel. They would go for 3 weeks on a trip.
Barnstorming, huh?
Well, yeah, 3 weeks, and all had big trunks for carry all their clothes in.
Here's a 2-2. Slapped foul. It was this date in 1980 that Jerry Royce threw a no-hitter. Played for 8 different teams, 22 years in the big leagues, and as many know, was born in St. Louis and attended Rittner High School.
All right, Danny, everybody talks about the 70s and the lost years. How many pennants would the Cardinals have won?
With Carlton
and
with Royce.
Jerry Royce. There's 500 wins right there. Jerry had over 200.
He had 220.
220, and I think Carlton was 320.
There you go.
How many wins?
Carlton was 329 if
29
memory serves correct, and Royce was 220. Won Game 5 of the 1981 World Series with the Dodgers. I remember that year because the Cardinals, well, that's a team that if the strike doesn't hit, they're in postseason play.
Yeah, they pretty much got cheated that year. They had a first half winner and a second half winner, and Cardinals won the most games, I think, overall. They finished second in both halves.
Joey Valala, 5 up, 5 down. Jerry Royce had 56 starts in St. Louis and an even 500, 22 and 22. So you had Jerry Royce and then Steve Carlton, 329 wins. The truck's going to tell me if I'm right. I think I am.
You are.
There's a fly ball lifted into right center. Tui Valala with 2. No, it's a drop ball by Tommy Pham. A rare mistake by Tommy and an error.
Boy, things are submarining on Tommy Pham right there. Just such a casual play. Got a little nonchalant. Doing the one-handed, hits in the heel of the glove and pops out, and once again used 2 hands.
And that's the 4th error on Tommy Pham this year. Extends the inning to Tyler Naquin. So 2 outs and a runner at first. Tommy had only 1 error coming into the year. What might have been, yep, there it is. Steve Carlton, 329 wins, 4 Cy Youngs, 10-time All-Star, part of the Cardinals' runs in 67 and 68, and a Hall of Famer elected back in 1994. As he told us on Fox Sports Midwest, it was minutes.
No cell phones.
Minutes away from staying here in St. Louis. He mentioned the story the other day on the air with us and saying that he actually had wanted to rescind the idea of being traded, called up Bing Devine, and Bing said, nope, deal's already done, it's over.
It was a situation where Gussie Busch stepped in and said, get rid of him. I don't care what you get in return. Rick Wise was having same troubles, contract troubles with Philadelphia. And so the general managers made the trade, swapping both pitchers. Rick Wise was, had good major league pitcher, but not a Hall of Famer like Carlton.
2-2 the count with 2 outs and a runner at first. Rick Wise, 188 wins. That's not too shabby at all.
No,
but it's not
all.
Steve Carlton.
And they weren't all with the Cardinals either.
And the 2-2 is fouled back.
I believe it was, my memory serves me right, 1974. It seemed like we had about a 5-game lead in middle of August, and Gibson tore up his knee. We were in New York. He was on first base, tried to get back out in a double play ball, and his knee just blew up. And the rest of that summer, our number Wise and I don't know if it was Reggie Cleveland, but our 2 and 3 starters won 1 game each the next 6 weeks, and we lost out in the last week of the season.
And that's inside. So after the air by Pham, it's a walk by Tui Valala.
Ramirez.
And Mike Maddox out to quickly visit, I'm sure, with Tui Valala, and this will be Neil Ramirez, who is being sent up to hit. You know, it's still only a 4-run game, and you got 2 runners on.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you kind of sit, feels like you're down by 7 or 8, but you're not. Get a couple guys on, key hit here and there. We've had some dramatic finishes here in 2018 here at home. What is it, like 7 walk-offs?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 4-run game. You get the bases loaded, tying run comes to the plate.
You know, and of course, or excuse me, the Cleveland feeling comfortable. They're not trying to get at least that that 5th run to where Grand Slam can't beat you or tie you.
So runners at first and second. Neil Ramirez at the plate. And a ball taken a bit high.
And start out with a breaking ball.
Here's a 1-0 pitch by Tui Valala. 2-0. Three and 0. Moved by Terry Francona, looking better and better. As you've told me many times, sometimes the hardest thing to do for a pitcher is to throw a strike when they know they have to.
Yeah, don't tell a pitcher that he doesn't. The guy's not going to swing the bat, go through a mental block.
And he struck him out. 2 scoreless innings by Tui Valala. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Cardinals face the Braves in a weekend series. Friday's game on Fox Sports Midwest will come your way at 6:30. Saturday at 6. That's on Fox. Sunday back here on Midwest at 12:30. Cardinals and Braves this weekend on Fox and Fox Sports Midwest. Neil Ramirez still in the ball game. Cardinals down by the score of 5-1. It's Ozuna, Molina, and Greg Garcia.
Ramirez was the #1 draft pick of the Texas Rangers, 44th pick overall back in the 2007 draft. Remember him when he was with the Cubs a few years back. Last year was San Francisco and New York.
And a strike to Marcell Ozuna. Grounded to short, single to right, struck out swinging in the 5th. It was a key spot in this game back in the 5th with 2 runners on, 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and Ozuna struck out. Here's a 1-2. Ozuna called 3rd strike, and Ramirez has his 1st strikeout of the night. Plaza Tire Service, Fox Tracks.
All right, breaking ball there, gets him out.
Cardinals have struck out 6 times in their lineup tonight. Here's Yadier Molina, who is 1 for 3. And ball 1.
Just 1 extra base hit in their 6 hits overall. They only walked once and been hit by pitches twice.
And a swing and a miss. Fouled back. Cardinals, when they have under 10 strikeouts, and that fan looking for a young fan, he's got one. Nice work. Love to see that. He gets a nice round of applause. Molina hits a breaking ball high in the air, foul territory. Lindor with the catch. And the Cardinals strike out 10 or less, 32-19. So tonight they're under that 10 mark and trailing 5-1.
Looks like we're gonna have a pitching change.
Oliver Perez will face Greg Garcia.
Terry got bored, wanted to go for a little walk.
That's it for Neil Ramirez, and Garcia coming up. Oliver Perez here in this series. He'll come in. Nobody on. Really good numbers. Lefties 176. The righties 067. And this being his 12th appearance of the year for Cleveland.
He was signed by Cleveland on June the 2nd. He asked for his release from the Yankees on June the 1st. Spent last year with Washington, and it would take us all night to tell you all the different teams he's been on. Fourth most appearances by a Mexican pitcher.
The career for Oliver Perez.
He started as he was a starter early part of the career, and keep on going now. Remember how flamboyant he was when he first got into baseball and came up to the big league level?
Got an odd way of getting ready.
Yeah. Like the glove. Hurt your wrist. And a little El Tiante. Turned all the way back, looking to second base. But he is truly left-handed.
Well, look at how the glove starts.
Yeah, watch.
Body's turned. Yoop. Now I'm ready. Little wiggle of the glove. No. Yes. Wiggle. Here it comes. The 0-2. And a strikeout of Greg Garcia. So we played 8 here at Busch Stadium. Cue the music. Let's go. 5-1. Out hit 8-6 and they trail 5-1 in the ball game. And this is our Chevy call to the pen. Now look at the video board to the right, not the one on the left, but that's John Brebbia.
Clean shaven, or just starting to grow a little bit. That was a week ago, and now he's got a full beard.
That's John Brebbia, folks. Now if that guy came up to you on the streets, you'd say, wait a minute, who are you?
Especially with the umbrella.
But if this guy came up, you'd say, hey, John, how's it going? Nice work.
Right at the winter warm-up when he was clean shaven, you did have to do a double take to realize who it was.
Hmm. 5-1 Cleveland here in the 9th. And a strike by Brebbia. And a fly ball into left. Ozuna skipping over there to make the catch. BJC Healthcare difference maker John Brebbia in the month of June, a .84 ERA.
Yeah, you're starting to see the bullpen really come together, and guys are having good outings after good outings, and I think we're going to start seeing that bullpen be the strength that we thought it would be.
Cardinals' next road trip: Arizona, San Francisco, and the White Sox. Ozuna another chance to make a catch, and he does.
Four fly ball outs in the last couple innings for him.
It's a tough road trip coming up. It's a 9-gamer. 9 games, 10 days. And then 3 with Cincinnati at home before the All-Star break, and then a 5-game series against the Cubs, which includes a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Cody Allen, the closer for the Indians, is up. He has not pitched since Saturday. That's tapped foul.
You'd like to see the Cardinals hopefully put a little charge in the 9th inning. It does not look like the last 4 games. It looks like the first part.
Went up to get that pitch, and a base hit into right for Jose Ramirez. And that snaps an 0 for 8 for him.
Got up there with it. Level swing. Good wood on it. But as we said, we really did a nice job containing him. And Lindor, Encarnacion did have a home run today, but you look at his numbers, the production, that's he's 1 for 6 in the series.
So 2 outs and a runner at first, and that's a ball low. Always fun to watch Miles Michaelis. He'll go on Friday night for the Cardinals. Julio Teheran for Atlanta. And the 1-0 pitch to Encarnacion. One ball, 1 strike. Fastball high, and it's 2-1.
Let's get the final out and then go on offense. The Cardinals really haven't had a hit for quite a while. Back to the 5th inning.
The 2-1 pitch by John Brebbia. Runner goes, and no chance for Molina. It's a strike, and it's 2-2. So stole the base for Ramirez.
13. jump off of Brevia. Teams always try to push, get that 5-run lead. Or a grand slam doesn't beat you or tie you.
The check swing, and he went. So strikeout for Brevia. Ring him up, they say. So 5-1 our score, and Cody Allen is into the ball game. He's closing in on the all-time saves record in Indians history.
Yeah, this is not a save situation here, but he is one away from tying Bob Wickman for the club record at 139 saves. He does lead the franchise in most strikeouts, relief appearances, seasons of at least 24 saves. Done that 4 times.
Here's Dexter Fowler, and it's fouled back. I know you're feeling it.
Baby was born back in the first.
9th inning, ERA of 5.5, highest in Major League Baseball for the Cleveland Indians, as Fowler hits a fly ball into shallow center.
Pretty rare company. Only Cody Allen, Kenley Jansen, and Craig Kimbrell have had at least 30 saves in each of the last 3 seasons. Bader's going to give us a little energy. You ready for it?
I am ready.
I knew you would.
Here's Vaughn.
Just a bit outside. It's pretty good, though. Looks like Ricky Vaughn, doesn't he?
It does. And a swing and a miss. The Cardinals down to their final out.
Chico entered the game in the 6th inning as a pinch hitter. Stayed in the game. See if you can't get a high fastball and knock it out of here. You know, Dan, never say never. Always a chance to come from behind.
Some crazy things can happen when
crazy things that happen, sometimes so crazy you don't want to see it. Not in reference to the Cardinals coming back, but reference to our esteemed director.
He has promised us an awful lot.
Better not
if the Cardinals come back.
We might lose our license.
Just don't have to show it on the air. But Tom would be working his final game. And we're not going to have to worry about that. Comes to a close. The Cardinals take 2 of 3 in the series. And a 5-1 final tonight.
Yeah, you win the series, but you have to be a little disappointed you couldn't pull out a sweep. But enjoy the off day and come back on Friday.